The Oscars. Arguably the best time of the year for us movie fans. Am I confident in my predictions? No. I don't really know what's going to happen. The Oscars are tomorrow night, so today I'm going to be giving you my picks and predictions, who I think is going to win and who I want to win. But before I do that, definitely make sure to hit that like button if you love talking Oscars content, as well as considering subscribing. I love doing movie stuff, TV stuff, whatever it is, reviews, talking Oscars, all that good stuff. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. One more thing before we get started, make sure to let me know down below in the comments who are your picks and predictions. You can do every single category, you can do some specific categories, whatever you want. I'm very interested to hear what you guys think. And without further ado, let's get into the first category. Alright, so we're starting off with writing original screenplay. The categories are kind of all over the place, but don't worry, we'll get to Best Picture last. But starting off with these nominees, they are all really solid. I might not love every single movie in this list. You got Belfast and Don't Look Up, which I'm not the biggest fans of. Then you have King Richard, Licorice Pizza, The Worst Person in the World, 3 fantastic movies. I actually went back and forth on this one for a while. I didn't know necessarily who was going to be my prediction. It's always like that with the Oscars. I mean, you never really know. My personal pick, I'm going to go with The Worst Person in the World. It's one of my favorites of this year. I loved it. But my prediction, I'm going to go with Belfast. At one point in time, we thought that Belfast was going to win Best Picture, but I don't think it's going to win Best Picture anymore. But this does feel like the movie that is going to win Kenneth Branagh his first Oscar. With that being said, you also have Paul Thomas Anderson, who hasn't won an Oscar. I really think it's between Paul Thomas Anderson and Kenneth Branagh. I think that Kenneth Branagh is going to take the win here, though. From what I know, it seems like Belfast is the more favorable pick from the voters. So I'm going to go with Belfast. I know a couple people might be going with Don't Look Up, but I feel pretty confident in Belfast, though I wouldn't be surprised if Licorice Pizza takes the win. After that, we have writing adapted screenplay. And for this one, if you are a longtime viewer of my channel, you probably know who I'm going to go with. Aside from The Lost Daughter, all of the screenplays here are top notch. My pick is easily Coda. I adore that movie. And we will be talking about that more in this video. In my prediction, I'm going to go with Coda too. I really think that it has a chance to win in this category. It's going up against The Power of the Dog, which is a close second. I feel confident in saying Coda is going to win, especially if it gets more wins in a couple other categories. But if not Coda, I would go with Power of the Dog. But as of right now, I'm going to go with Coda. Then you get to visual effects, which is a category that plenty of people already have like a lock. You don't really think that something like Free Guy is going to win in this sort of category. The one that you got to go with in my pick and prediction is going to go with Dune. In all of the technical regards in that movie, it is a masterclass in filmmaking. It will most likely win all of the technical aspects. But I mean, it's very well deserved. The visual effects in that movie are, from start to finish, perfection. It's one of those movies that you can tell they put a lot of money into the visual effects budget, and it paid off. For sound, once again, I'm going to go with Dune. I just think that Dune is going to win in all the technical aspects, every award that it's up for. Maybe not like Best Picture, but a category like sound, I think that Dune takes the cake. It's also my pick too. I think the sound mixing, sound editing, all that stuff in Dune is great. With short film live action, the only one I've seen in this category is The Long Goodbye, which is going to be my pick and prediction. With the short film categories in particular, I don't necessarily put too much time into them, especially when we're talking about the bigger categories. I'm obviously going to watch all those movies, but with the short films, I didn't watch every single one of them. The only one I watched was The Long Goodbye, and I had a feeling it was going to win, so that's why I watched it. I think it's a good short film. I don't think it's the best of the best. Like last year, Two Distant Strangers was excellent. But The Long Goodbye tackles a very timely and powerful subject, and I think that that's what the voters are going to go for. With short film animated, kind of the same thing with short film live action. I didn't watch all the nominees. The only one I watched was Robin, and that was very fine. I just thought it was middle of the road, okay. Cute little short, definitely more for kids, but that's going to be my pick and prediction. Again, I haven't seen every single one of the nominees, but that's my prediction. That's what I thought was going to win, so that's why I watched it. Production design. This one is a little tricky. Some people are going more towards Dune. Some people are going more towards Nightmare Alley. My pick, I would easily go with Nightmare Alley. The sets, it's even a character in and of itself in that movie. The sets are absolutely superb. Guillermo del Toro just does a magnificent job directing everything in that movie. The Power of the Dog as well really captures that Western feel and aesthetic. And then you get to The Tragedy of Macbeth, which I actually didn't finish. I thought that movie was a bore and didn't want to spend too much time on it. But West Side Story and The Power of the Dog, they have really nice production design. I think I'm gonna go with Dune though. I sound like a broken record, but I just really think that in all the technical aspects, Dune is gonna win. I think that Nightmare Alley has a shot of taking the win. It is my pick, but for my prediction, I'm just gonna go with Dune. It feels like the safer option. I don't feel as confident with Nightmare Alley winning. For music original song, I see a lot of people predicting No Time to Die, which makes sense. It's won a lot of the awards at other award shows, of course, and it has this really nice streak that's going for it. But I feel like Dos Oruguitas from Encanto, which is my pick. I love that song. I thought it's a very heart-wrenching, and the moment in the film is just pulls your heart out, but I think it's a beautiful song. But I feel like with Encanto being literally everywhere now on the Billboard charts, on everyone's music playlist, it seems like you can't really go anywhere without knowing what Encanto is, unless you've been living under a rock. And I just feel like Encanto is gonna win. I know a lot of people are predicting No Time to Die. Billie Eilish, she very well has a shot of getting her first ever Oscar. I just feel like Dos Oruguitas is gonna come in and take the cake. So for my pick and prediction, I'm going for Dos Oruguitas. With the score, it's hard not to go with Hans Zimmer for Dune. That is a very big score. It's arguably the greatest score of last year. It's a phenomenal piece of art. Hans Zimmer really popped off with that one, and I just feel like that's what the Academy is gonna go for. I'm gonna go with my pick and prediction, going for Dune. Maybe something like The Power of the Dog could take it, but I just feel like Dune, this is one of those more locked in categories. I feel like Dune is gonna win. With makeup and hairstyling, the big standout to me in particular was the eyes of Tammy Faye. How they transformed Jessica Chastain was incredible, but Andrew Garfield as well, not as much prosthetics, but he does look like Jim Baker. I think it's a very well-deserving win for the eyes of Tammy Faye. I'm gonna go with the eyes of Tammy Faye. That seems like a bit of a lock as well. It's the one that really shows off the makeup and hairstyling, if that makes sense. It just seems like the pick for this category. International feature film, the only ones I haven't seen are The Hand of God and Lunana, but Drive My Car, Flee, The Worst Person in the World. I already said I love The Worst Person in the World, but Drive My Car is also an excellent movie. If I had seen that movie before the end of last year, it would have probably cracked my top 10. And then Flee is just heartbreaking. It's a very raw and emotional movie. And for a while, I thought it would take the cake here, but I just think that Drive My Car is going to win, especially because it has that Best Picture nomination. My personal pick, it's really close, but I would go with The Worst Person in the World. As much as I love Drive My Car, but Drive My Car is going to be my prediction. I just feel like that's the movie that's going to win. Again, like I said, with that Best Picture nomination. Film editing, the category that it seems like always is a bit up in the air. There's no real lock for this one. I think that King Richard is going to win. That's also going to be my pick and prediction. I just feel like the seamless editing in some of those tennis scenes, that's why it makes my pick. And it could go to something like Dune, or even Tick Tick Boom. That's the real dark horse in this category. But I just feel like King Richard is going to win. I know it won the Eddie Award. I think that King Richard is going to win here. Documentary short subject. This one is I'm not going to talk too much about. I think that The Queen of Basketball is going to win. It's also my pick. That's the only one I watched in this category. I thought it was a very interesting doc. I thought that they did a very nice job with it, and I think it's worthy of the win, and I do think it is going to win. Then you get to documentary feature. If I had my way, I would give it to Flea. I know a lot of people loved Summer of Soul. It didn't resonate with me as much as I know it did to plenty of other people, and I think it's a very nicely well done, put together kind of documentary. The archival footage and all that stuff, it's really incredible. So my personal pick would go to Flea. I feel like that one just hit more than Summer of Soul for me, but I do think that Summer of Soul is going to win. I know that, like I said, plenty of other people love that movie. It just seems like the one that's going to win here. For directing, this is another tough one. I would love to see Ryosuke Hamaguchi win for Drive My Car, even though it's a long shot. I think it really is between West Side Story, Steven Spielberg, the GOAT, and The Power of the Dog, Jane Campion. I think The Power of the Dog, Jane Campion, she is going to win. She would also be my personal pick. I think she did a magnificent job directing that movie. For my pick, it was really close between her and Steven Spielberg, as he is the greatest of all time. But I just feel like Jane Campion has this one. For costume design, I've seen all these movies except for Cyrano. I do want to check that one out. I feel like Cruella is going to win. The dresses in that movie, all that stuff is just marvelous. Like, it's a movie literally about a costume designer, also someone that likes to kill puppies. When it comes down to it, like the scene where they're in the parade and like the dress, that showcase scene, that's a really nice and well done sequence with those costumes. Dune as well though, that has a lot of great costume design. I just feel like Cruella is gonna win. It's my pick and prediction. I didn't love that movie. I do need to rewatch it, but I think the costumes in that movie are just stellar and why they deserve the win. For cinematography, you could see the Academy going more towards Bruno Del Bonnell. It's a black and white movie for the tragedy of Macbeth. That's a bit of a long shot though. I would probably say that's the dark horse of this category. I feel like The Power of the Dog, Ari Wagner as well, could have a shot at winning, but Greg Fraser, he's on a real kick right now with The Batman, and I think he's gonna win for Dune. He would also be my pick as well. I think that Dune has some incredible shots. I mean, that movie just looks gorgeous, and I'm not disappointed with it winning. I think it's very well deserved. Animated feature film. Like I mentioned earlier, Encanto has a real surge right now with it literally being all over the place. So I think Encanto is going to win. My personal pick would have to go to The Mitchells vs. the Machines. I rewatched that movie a couple weeks ago and was really blown away. When I first watched it, it didn't really stick with me all that much, but then on rewatch, it clicked this time. I think it's a beautiful family film and really one that everyone should be watching. If you have kids, please show your kids that movie if they haven't watched it already. But honestly, all these movies in this category, they're really good to like great. Like Raya and the Last Dragon looks wonderful, like genuinely might be one of the best looking animated movies that I've ever seen. I think Mitchells vs. the Machines is my pick, but the winner, I'm gonna go with Encanto. Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff. Actress in a supporting role. This is another stacked category. I feel like the only one that I would maybe move, actually the two that I would move, is Jessie Buckley and Judi Dench. They're not my favorites. After watching The Lost Daughter, I didn't really feel like her performance was all that good, especially deserving of an Oscar nomination. I don't know about that. And Judi Dench as well is kind of just like, oh, you're a legend, we'll give you a nomination. But Ingenue Ellis, Kirsten Dunst, they give powerhouse performances. This one, it's been a lock since, like, I would arguably say September. Ariana DeBose is gonna win. I would be shocked if she doesn't. Maybe Kirsten Dunst is in second place with the quiet runner-up. But Ariana DeBose, she's just, again, she's on a hot streak. She's won literally every single award. I don't know how she isn't going to win the Oscar. My pick and prediction is Ariana DeBose. Ooh, actress in a leading role. This is a very tricky one. Even last year, I wasn't really confident in my pick. I'm still upset that Carey Mulligan did not win the Oscar last year. I'm actually really upset about that to this day. I don't think that Frances McDormand should have won, but that's a topic for another day. This is probably the category that's most up in the air, I would argue. You have someone like Kristen Stewart, who I just really want to win. If you saw my nominations reaction video, you saw that I was over the moon excited. I literally screamed. And for a long time, we saw someone like Nicole Kidman, who honestly everyone kind of thought that she was going to win. I would not be happy if she won, let me just say that. I think her performance is good as Lucille Ball, not necessarily worthy of an Academy Award. Actually, the only movie on this list that I haven't seen is Parallel Mothers. That's honestly the one that I really tried to get to. I just couldn't. Penelope Cruz, I've heard she's excellent and honestly might have a shot at winning. Olivia Colman, I just don't think has that big of a shot. I just feel like Jessica Chastain is gonna win. She's won a lot of the awards leading up to this. I just think that she has it in the bag. But don't count out someone like Penelope Cruz, like I said. Even Kristen Stewart, who would be my pick. I would give it to Kristen Stewart, even though I love Jessica Chastain and Tammy Faye. Literally the standout of that movie. Kristen Stewart would be my pick. I'm really hurt to say that Jessica Chastain is probably gonna win. I would love for Kristen Stewart to win. But again, I'm not disappointed with this one. I think that Kristen Stewart or Jessica Chastain, they're both very deserving. Maybe Penelope Cruz is gonna win. Who knows? Like I said, I'm kind of really up in the air on this one, but as of right now, my pick would go for Kristen Stewart. My prediction, Jessica Chastain. All right, we're getting to the final categories, actor in a supporting role. This one, we're going back talking about Coda. How can you not give this award to Troy Kotsur? I rewatched Coda last night. His performance is electrifying. literally, you can't watch that movie, first of all, without having a smile on your face from start to finish. I was just bursting with joy. But his performance, it's comedic, it's really tugs on your heartstrings, it's dramatic, it's everything that it needs to be in that movie. And that's why I just feel like he's gonna win. He's my pick and prediction. You have someone like Jesse Plemons, who I really like as an actor, not the necessarily biggest like show-offy performance in The Power of the Dog. Cody Smith-McPhee is probably the runner-up. For a long time, I would have gone with him for my prediction, but just the recent surge that Cody's been having, that's the thing with the Oscars. If you have a recent surge, first of all, the big gap between nominations and winners and figuring out who's going to win, that's a problem in and of itself. But the quickly surge that Coda's having within the past couple weeks, winning at the WGA and PGA, I'm going to be over the moon excited for Troy Kotsur to take home that trophy on Sunday night. He's going to win. I'm telling you, he's my pick and prediction. Troy Kotsur, he's got it. Actor in a leading role. A bit of a tricky one because Will Smith, for a long time, I think everyone was really confident. Within the last couple weeks specifically, everyone's really confident. I still think he is going to win. He is my prediction. My personal pick would go to Andrew Garfield. As much as I love Will Smith and King Richard, Andrew Garfield just pours his heart into this role as Jonathan Larson, and what he does is just incredible, and I really think the world of him. I don't think he has a shot at winning, though. Benedict Cumberbatch is kind of like the sleeper. I think he has a shot at maybe getting the win, but I just feel confident in Will Smith. He's overdue for an Oscar. He should have won a long time ago. He's very well deserving. He's totally transformative as Venus Williams and Serena Williams' father. I'm not upset about it at all. I think he's going to be a very nice 2022 Best Actor winner. All right, Best Picture. Here we go. The nominees are Belfast, Coda, Don't Look Up, Drive My Car, Dune, King Richard, Licorice Pizza, Nightmare Alley, The Power of the Dog, and West Side Story. That is a stacked lineup. I'd love to see something like Drive My Car. I would have loved to see something like The Worst Person in the World. That would have been awesome. Even something like Nightmare Alley, which probably wasn't going to get a nomination if it wasn't for these 10 nominees. They were going with 10 this year. Previous years it was 5, sometimes 7. This year they were doing 10. I'm going to be honest. If it wasn't for the 10 nominees that they had to go with, I wouldn't say that Coda would have gotten a nomination. I am over the moon, so happy it got nominated though, because it is going to win Best Picture. Maybe The Power of the Dog. It's really close. It is so close. I feel really confident in saying Coda though. If I had to put money on the table, I would go more towards Coda. Don't count out The Power of the Dog. I'm going to be very upset if I just went on record saying it's going to win Best Picture and then it loses. But I digress. It is arguably my favorite movie of last year. It's really close between it. It takes that second place. It's a perfect movie in my mind. I actually don't have that many critiques with it. I love Coda. It's one of my favorites of all time now. And it's just so well deserving of that Best Picture. I don't think something like Belfast is going to win like we thought for a while. Something like Dune, a very big movie. I think that'd be really cool. Something Lord of the Rings-esque. I just don't think it has a shot. It's really between The Power of the Dog and Coda. My heart's going to go with Coda. And my gut just tells me that Coda is going to win this Sunday night. But that is it. Those are my picks and predictions. I really hope that I'm right. But if I'm wrong, it'll make for a good reaction video. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to do a reaction video. But if you do want to look out for it, I would definitely make sure to consider subscribing to this channel. I love talking everything movies and TV. And if you did enjoy this video, it would mean the world if you hit that like button. I love doing Oscar content. I look forward to next year. This year isn't over yet. We don't know who's going to win. I'm confident in a lot of these, not as confident in other ones, but I'm just excited for everything to unfold on Sunday night. Just a reminder, make sure to let me know down below all your picks and predictions. I would love to hear them. Thank you so much for watching this video. I had a blast doing it, talking all this Oscar stuff. And until next time, my name is Ben. People call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.